Okay, this is a lesson on bill of materials, and this is not the full bill of materials system. This is the mini bill of materials that comes with the software. To get to bill of materials, the first thing you have to have done is in the inventory module, you have to have an item that is set up as a kit or a bill of material. So if I bring up an item here and I say that this item is under product type, I have to identify, is this a raw material, or is this a kit item, or is this a subassembly? So if it's a bill of material, in other words, it's an item that contains components below it, it will always be a kit. So by saving it as a kit, it will let me now build a recipe for this item. The other thing that you also have to have is you absolutely have to have, let me just change this to standard cost. The other thing that you absolutely have to have in a kit is you have to have components. Now those components can be raw materials, they can be finished items, or they can be subassemblies. They can be another kit also. So if you have an assortment that has an item that has components under it, that would be considered a kit within a kit. So once I hit save on this, I'm now going to be able to create the item. So just a second here while I get the costing method finished here. 1.49 and update cost so that I can save the item. Now when I close this, the next thing I need to say is, okay, what items does this have in it? At this point I have to have items in the inventory that are identified as either component, raw material, finished goods, or subassemblies. In this case I already have some items in there, so I'm going to go down to my maintained files and pull up bill of material. Right here is my bill of material recipe builder. So I'm going to enter the item that I just set up, which is this item right here, kids aquatic shoes, aqua shoes. And it's going to automatically say, okay, there's no recipe on file for this. Do you want to create one? And I'm going to say yes. At this point, I need to make some decisions. Number one, do I want to print the components or the detail of this kit on my invoices? If I do, I click the check mark here. If I don't, I leave it blank. Do I want the details on my sales order? Yes or no. Do I want the details on my packing slip? Yes or no. And what kind of a kit is this? Is this a bill of material or is this an assortment? In other words, is it an assortment that has like a counter display where the items will print on the invoice so that the customer receiving that component, that item, understands the price of each component? Or is this a bill of material where it will only print kids aqua shoe on the invoice? I now need to decide, how do I want to reduce inventory? Do I want the system to always reduce inventory no matter what and never ask me to build it? Or do I want it to tell me if I don't have enough in stock? Do I want it to never ever build it and always prompt me? Or do I want it to never prompt me and never build because I'm going to create the items outside the system? And do I want to simply explode the item on the screen but not reduce the components because I'm building outside the system, outside of the sales order module? How do I want to price this item? Do I want to use the kit pricing? In other words, the price that's associated with the kit item? Do I want to have a zero price on the kit item and have the system calculate based on the components that went into it? Or do I want to use the kit pricing but on the invoice show what the individual component pricing is? Then I come down here and I create the item. By hitting F3, I can tell it now what items go into this. So I'm going to just use my little magnifying glass here, and I don't see it. I'm going to just pick the item that it contains, and I'm going to tell it how many pieces go into that item. There I've built my bill of materials, and when I go to enter an order for this one item, it's going to automatically reduce inventory by the component. That's all there is to inventory bill of material entry. So I'm going to stop the recording at this time because we're going to go to the next stage of it. So the next part of the bill of material program is how do you get the goods in? Well, if you had chosen on your bill of materials screen that you want to always build, never prompt, as you're entering the sales order, the system will automatically reduce the components. However, if you chose that you want to receive the goods in manually, you need to go to Transaction Processing, Transfer and Adjustments, create an adjustment for it. Then you have to choose that this is a production item. So by choosing it's a production item, you then have to tell the system are your finished goods, where's the goods going to end up, and where did your components come from. And over on this screen, when I choose the item that I've created, which was the first item here, and I tell it I made 100 pieces, this will now increase inventory for the finished good by 100 pieces and reduce the components, and I'll show you that in our next screen. So as you see on our journal here, it increased by 100 pieces the main item and reduced the inventory because I said I was going to make 5 pieces of it. It reduced it, 100 pieces, and each item takes 5 pieces. It's reducing inventory by 500 pieces of this item. That's it. There is nothing else. Once you've updated it, inventory gets adjusted and you're done. That's bill of materials. Thank you.